Hello everyone, I hope you are enjoying your day so far today. I have a pocket style layout for you. Very first thing I'm doing here is pulling out my photos. So these photos are actually from December 2016. I have a lot of photos already printed that I need to get scrapbooked. And since I took some time off last year, I'm kind of going to start, I suppose, with those photos and then start printing some new photos, or I may do a mixture. I haven't really decided, but for this one, needless to say, these are some photos from 2016. Now, in moving my office to my new office, I came across my old Project Life styled Studio Calico kits. So I pulled out this one. This was the June 2015 PL kit. And there's actually two kits here together that I combined into one. I got rid of I gave some of the supplies to other people, such as the stamp set because I didn't need two stamp sets, the washi tape. I didn't need two washi tapes. I kept things like the extra cards and the die cuts, but gave away those extra little bits. So I'm going to open up everything in this kit first, kind of lay it out for you to see here, and then we're going to get started on the layout. The kit came with just a couple pieces of like vellum, and that's what it was packaged in. Tissue paper, probably more like a glassine bag is really kind of the material. The small stamp set there, it's got lots of little icons, some chipboard hearts, some little donut post-it notes, 2 packs of cards. There's 4x6 and 3x4, and they are rounded corners. The acrylic currently, in the white acrylic, some washi tape, and the washi tape has like presents and balloons and let's party and hello. It's all in a black and white print. And then also some die cuts, and I'm just opening each of the packages here so I can have everything ready when I'm ready to actually scrapbook, and then we will get started on the scrapbooking. I like to kind of sort my cards out by size. There's also these alphas. They're in this kind of really pretty robin's egg blue, I suppose you could say. I do have my phone at the top, and it drove me crazy because I didn't realize it was actually in frame while I was recording. I think I was watching Handmaid's Tale or something like that. So it drives me crazy that's just slightly in frame, but hopefully it's not too distracting. Hopefully you won't even notice it. And then I have the die cuts here. There is a camera, a world, some circles, some stars, some little quote ones, things like that. That kind of gives you, and I did keep both packages of those because there's really not many die cuts in that. So I have both packages there to be able to pull from. So the very first thing I'm going to do is actually lay out the cards and the photos. I was trying to decide exactly what I wanted to do. So his birthday, Calen's birthday is in December. It's December 2nd. So these pictures are from his birthday. Just some things that we did that day. He had this giant tattoo, like temporary tattoo, and he wanted to put it on his stomach. I think it was intended to go across your shoulder. He wanted it on his stomach. So that's what that picture is of him with his holding his shirt up, all excited because he has this ginormous tattoo on his stomach. Then I've got some pictures of him with some Legos. He's playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots with Ernest, and then just some pictures of him in the car. And then I had another picture to the top right. He had gotten an edible arrangements delivered to him for his birthday, and this kid like loves chocolate and loves fruit. He's not really big into cake, so this was kind of one of those perfect things for him. But I'm going to save that photo for another layout. I did also print it in the 5x7 size, so I think I'm going to do a 12x12 layout with that, or maybe like a 9x12 layout, something like that. So it's not going to make it on this project or this pocket style layout because it's going to be in a layout probably right next to this in my album. Since it was his birthday, I don't use numbers a whole lot, so I thought it would be really nice to go ahead and include the number 6 because he turned 6 on this day. And if you have watched me for any period of time, you know that I prefer to have squared corners in my 4x6 pockets and rounded corners in the 3x4 pockets. Now, my scrapbooking for 2019 and 2020 is going to look a little bit different, but I have not started those albums yet, so you haven't seen it. But up until this point, I have always done my albums pretty much in the Design A page protector. If I'm doing pocket layouts, I do lots of different random inserts. But for my planned out pages, I usually use the Design A page protectors from Becky Higgins, Project Life brand. And I always keep the ones in the middle rounded and then I always square the 4x6. And if I'm using rounded cards like this, I will just kind of trim down the cards a little bit and put them on a piece of white cardstock. I just love the consistency of that look, especially with my printed photos, because I print my photos with a white border. I don't know why. It's just a design preference that I came across when I was originally printing photos, and I loved it, and so I just kind of stuck with it. Now, periodically, I will forget to put the white border on the photos when I print them, and so I just mat them on white cardstock if that happens. Getting the very first card done here. This card actually ended up being fairly easy because once I saw that currently acrylic piece and saw the numbers, I thought it would be perfect to just highlight the fact that it's his birthday. And I will be adding just a tiny little bit of printed journaling at the end. And so there's going to be a journal strip that's added to this currently card as well. And I will come back and add a few more things to that in a bit. Not a whole lot. Being that this is one of my first layouts that I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things, it tended to be a little bit more simplistic, but I actually think I really like that style instead of overly embellishing things. Sometimes I get into the like super embellished style, and sometimes I prefer to keep it kind of simple. And I felt like this one had a lot of colors going on, so it really did not need a lot of embellishment to kind of keep it looking nice. The colors really help as far as keeping the layout interesting. I had the stamp set. I wanted to use that word captured, but I did not want the entire label. I could have stamped it on a piece of paper and then cut it out and just cut out the captured part, but I didn't. That seems like too easy now that I think about it. So I masked off part of the stamp, stamped it out, didn't get a good image, and then I had to like use a black marker to just kind of fill in the parts that didn't get stamped properly. Now I am using my Paper Tray ink, Smoky Shadow ink, and from what I understand, Paper Tray ink technically didn't go out of business, but they changed their name. I cannot think of the name of it right now. But if you go to the Paper Tray ink website, and I know this because I just ordered some more ink a week ago, if you go to the website, you can still order ink on their website, and they have all of their stamps like deeply discounted, pretty much. And then the new website is already up and running, and you can order the inks and different stamps on the new website under the new name. But funny enough, the stock wasn't the same on both websites, even though it was the same packaging on the new website. It still had the same packaging for the Paper Tray ink. It even says Paper Tray ink on the inks on the new website. So I ended up having to order from the Paper Tray ink website because it was the only one that had the ink that I was ordering in stock, whereas the new website didn't have it in stock, which I found that really interesting since it's the same packaging and the same company, but whatever, maybe that's just a computer inventory issue. All right, I stamped a little smiley face in that captured stamp that I did, but I did it in a light blue, and I don't like the way it looks on that greenish yellow card. So I'm going to end up covering that with some die cuts here in a bit. But I've moved back to my title card, and I pulled out some of that washi tape. This title card is really just going to say December. It's going to have this washi tape, and I made sure that I put the washi tape to the point where you could see the words that say let's party, because again, this is Calen's birthday. Now, it's not overly birthday themed, but just adding that washi tape, and then I will add some of the journaling later that talks about his birthday. It really kind of keeps it to where it's not, you know what's going on, but it's not like in your face birthday. And I like being able to use all different types of products and all different themes of products for different occasions. I don't necessarily need to pull out my birthday supplies. I do have a whole big Ziploc bag, like 13 by 13 inch Ziploc bag with birthday supplies, and I totally could have pulled it out, but I wanted to use this kit, so I found plenty of things that worked out. Now, there is nothing donut themed at all on this layout, but I just like that little donut die cut, so I put the donut die cut and then just the little heart that was in the die cut pack and covered up that little smiley face. I just didn't like the way that it looked. It didn't appear clearly enough once I stamped it in that light blue color. And as you can see, that card, the yellow card, had something printed on it. I can't remember what it was, but there is some text that's poking out above the photo there to the right. And I am going to cut up one of the 3x4 cards that you see sitting down there on the right side. It's covered up by the white card at the moment. but that one right there, I'm going to cut it out, and there's one that has a little smiley face that says happy face, and I'm going to cut that and put that on a little bit of that glassine packaging, the glassine bag type packaging, and layer that right on top of that text right there that's poking out so you can't see it. And that kind of brings that smiley face back into this card, since I didn't like the way that it was stamped out. And that will actually finish off that bottom right card. I love the card that says A is for, and I'm going to pull out some rub-ons from my stash. These are some rub-ons. So I had gotten some of this type of rub-ons in a D-stash from a friend. My sister's friend was really into card making for a while, and she moved from North Carolina to New York and just had limited space. And so she very kindly and graciously gifted me a bunch of things from her stash when she was destashing. And she had these rub-ons, and it's fonts, and I think it's from a sign company, if I remember correctly, because I did some research on it. It's from a sign company, I believe, and I actually found more of them on eBay and purchased them, and I love them. Some of them work better than others because I'm sure they are very, very old. I think some of them were dated like the 90s. But some of them work just perfectly. And basically, if you were to like pull up a Word document and choose a font, the names of those fonts are basically what you could order. So the one that I'm using, I know I'm going to say this wrong because I've actually never heard this said. I'm writing out the word that I'm trying to figure out what I want to use here. And then I was trying to figure out the middle letter. So you can see that it's, we're going to say Helvetica, Helvetica, maybe something like that, but it's medium, and it tells you it's the, like what size it is and everything. This is the 3/16 of an inch black rub-ons. And the name of the company, just in case you are interested, these are amazing, by the way. You can see I've used them, and they've got these little lines that are on the rub-on sheet, so you can use it to help you line them up and keep them all consistently in a row. That one is from a Geographics product is the name of the company. A Geographics product is the name of the company that manufactured those. And again, I don't know if those are the ones she gave me or if those are the ones I got off of eBay, but I got some off of eBay, and it was like 26 packs of them for like $11, and they were all different fonts. I love them. They are awesome. So that's a random like find as far as products, but I always like to kind of point that out because that's one of those very uncommon products that you might see. Now we are nearing the end here. I'm just cutting up my journaling that I printed off my computer, and it basically says 12/2/16. Today Calen turned 6, and then the journaling is going to go on this card with the camera, and it says we spent the day enjoying simple things and our time together as a family. And that is it. That's this entire layout. Now I am kind of redoing my blog, and instead of doing a blog post for every single layout that I share on YouTube, I am actually going to share different things on my blog, things like product finds or I don't know, thoughts that I have, or maybe kits that I'm sharing, anything like that. Things that are not going to be on my YouTube channel will be on my blog. So if those are things that might interest you, make sure you go check out my blog and hit subscribe so you can be notified anytime I have a new post as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this layout, and I will be back soon with something more. Bye.